Okay, guys, I thought I had heard and seen it all at this stage. But wait till you hear this. Hi there, welcome back to the Politics Podcast. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to show you a clip now that I watched, and because I watched it and had to go through it, you're going to have to do it too. So this is Senator Eileen Flynn, who is in our Shannon. She is a senator on God knows how much every year. I think it's up to €90,000 a year. An Irish senator gets in salary, and I don't know what expenses they get, but you can be pretty sure they get a lot of expenses. But wait till you hear this. She is talking about the fuel protests last week, and she is telling people why she didn't attend the fuel protests. Wait till you hear this. Let's play this.
Driving miles at 8 o'clock at night, that's on night shift for work. What about the migrant workers? I didn't attend any of those protests, and the reason why I didn't, it was overtook by the far right. It was overtook by the far right. We had a lot of hard-working people first come out and the protests. But look, for me, where I see the tri-flag, I'm terrified to be part of. I'm terrified to be part of any protest where I see a tri-flag. That's an absolute disgrace in the country as a public representative, afraid to go to any protest where there's a tri-flag. So much hatred out there towards people from migrant backgrounds, and yet we have a health system that's barely standing. And I wouldn't be standing, I've said this numerous of times, if we didn't have migrant workers in our hospitals. That's something that we should all be highlighting to the far right, and it boils my blood to even waste a second in talking about these people who are just spreading hate, rumours, lies. I don't even know what I have, if I was a TD, would I have supported a vote of no confidence in the government.
Senator Eileen Flynn. Ladies and gentlemen, it's unbelievable. It's boiling her blood. First of all, the tri-flag. I don't know what the tri-flag is, but I can presume she's talking about the tricolour. She is a senator in the Shannon, an Irish senator who's scared of going out to a protest where the Irish flag might be flying. She has no problem with every other flag under the sun, every other flag from every other country under the sun, but her own. It's absolutely outrageous. Outrageous. And she goes on a waffling, yapping tour of the far right again, who are spreading hate, spreading rumours. Remember, guys, these politicians are living in a bubble. They are living in a bubble of, I don't know what they talk about on their lunch breaks and around their tables, but they have got it wrong. They must be listening to the crazy advisors that they all have. And the NGOs, because the far right do not exist. There are people who have been trying to call out the mayhem of mass immigration for 10 years now. 10 years now. But everyone can see where mass immigration has gone in the last 2 years. But there are people who have been calling out mass immigration. And from the very get-go, these NGOs, these woke politicians, these advisors, in hand with the media, with the mainstream media, started calling these people far right. And now they are living in such a bubble that they think the far right is a thing. They think that we have far right meetings and groups in the country organising this, that and everything. Last week's protests were farming contractors, hauliers, bus drivers, taximen. Then ordinary people started supporting them. There is no far right. And of course, the Minister for Justice blamed the far right back then. But getting back to this Senator Eileen Flynn. An Irish senator has the audacity to stand up in the Shannon and pontificate to the Irish people about the Irish flag. Who do you think you are, Senator? Who? Get out of your bubble and talk to some normal people And that's my advice to all politicians. Stand back from your advisors, stand back from the NGOs, and just go and talk to ordinary people. They're not going to bite you. But this is the line that has been spread, and especially so in the last 4 to 5 years. The far right, blah, 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 spreading hate, spreading rumours, flying the Irish flag. The Irish flag is a symbol of hate. We had it last year with Dublin City Council. People had erected Irish flags all over the place, not only Dublin, sorry, every county, but Dublin City Council in particular had a piece on RTE saying that it was basically a hate crime. I think it was People Before Profit councillor, or one of these lefties, maybe Social Democrats. But don't you know, they're all the same. They're all in on it. They all think that if you fly the Irish flag, you are far right, racist, spreading rumours, spreading hate. Someone needs to ask, if we had a proper media, RTE would have shown that clip of this senator on the news the other night, and they would have had her in for an interview and said, hang on now, Eileen, come on, Eileen, come on, Eileen. Who are the far right? How do you define them? Where do they meet? Who's their leader? And what are the rumours and what is the hate that they are spreading? And if we had a proper media, we would get to the bottom of it in a flash, because there is none. I've said it before, and I've said it years and years and years ago, on debates, on radios. The far right are grannies and granddads pushing shopping trolleys, their little trolley up the high street. Their mums, young mothers, young fathers pushing buggies. They are everywhere. The far right are everywhere because there is no far right. The far right are just ordinary people. And we have a senator, and not only her, by the way, not only Eileen Flynn, we have every other politician in the country blaming something that doesn't exist because they cannot look in the mirror and take responsibility for what they've done. And this thing about the flag has to come to an end. The Irish flag will be flown in Ireland at all times. It is not a symbol of hate. It is a symbol of unity and love. And these politicians are the ones spreading rumours and hate and racism against the Irish. Racism against the Irish. I told you before that we have tons of NGOs whose only job is to go around looking for racism among the Irish. Racism among a people who gave Africa every cent they had, every spare penny they had in their purses from way back, I remember, from the 80s, the 90s, and way back. Penny, they used to be called penny for the Africans. In the olden days, your grannies would know that. We know it as troker boxes. If the Irish were racist, those troker boxes would have been thrown in the fire. But no, they were filled up in every house and sent back. There is no racism in Ireland, but there is mass immigration, and the Irish have a right to call it out because it affects the Irish. It affects every single aspect of our lives, from hospital waiting lists to traffic jams to housing to our budget. They're saying there's no money. They can't drop the fuel, only 10 cents. And I've gone through before how they spend money on every single nation, every Tom, Dick and Harry except Paddy. And this senator has the audacity, no doubt she has learned from the NGOs, she has learned how to twist the words, masters at twisting. And they have learned in turn from the globalists, from the EU and the UN. And we remember Angela Merkel ripping the German flag. Someone gave her a flag at an event that they were at. She was on stage and someone handed her the German flag and she ripped it in disgust off them and threw it aside. So Senator Eileen Flynn has learned from the best, who are actually the worst, but who present themselves as the best in media, and the media present them to us as the best. And it's only when you step outside of the media bubble and start thinking for yourselves and start getting on X. As I've always said, start an account, guys, but like, I'm here for ye too. But my best advice to ye is to start your own account, because you get to see this clip. The likes of that clip from the senator. I can guarantee you that that was not played on RTE, on the news, on prime time. So she said she would not attend the fuel protest last week because of the Irish flag. It's absolutely outrageous. And that's where we are, guys, with politics in Ireland. I see the latest news there. The three youngest members, Fianna Fáil TDs in Leinster House, have voted confidence in Micheál Martin's government and Simon Harris's government, but we're talking about Fianna Fáil now. They voted confidence on Tuesday, late afternoon, and on Wednesday morning, they released a statement that they had no confidence. This is the snakes in the grass that we're dealing with. They had confidence in his leadership less than 24 hours before they sent a statement to the media saying they had no confidence. And now there's a heave on Micheál Martin and they want a new leader. And to me, it's same old, same as it ever was. So guys, we have to be wide awake to all the antics, all the games, all the twisting. They're great at playing Twister there in Leinster House and the Shannon. They twist. And you have to step outside that bubble and critically think what exactly is going on. The Irish flag will be flown, Senator Eileen Flynn. And this is the sort of drivel that we have to put up with day in, day out. From politicians who, like we know from last week, refuse to meet the people. They just refuse. They say they will only meet representative bodies and NGOs and blah, blah, blah. That the people themselves have no right to raise their voices and no right to seek meetings or seek answers. This is their line. This is the line they are saying. When they forget that they were elected by the people. They are in their seats because of the people. And they break their promises and they continue on this trek that they are on, this globalist agenda that they are on. And now the people have to put up with it. Well, they don't. No, they don't. The people put you in position 2024. It's now 2026. And you've broken every single promise and you let us down. And you will have to answer. You will have to answer. So that's what I wanted to bring you today, guys, that Senator Eileen Flynn is not going to join any ordinary people anymore if the Irish flag is flown. That's her message. And she's sick, boils her blood that the far right are anywhere. When someone needs to sit her down, and maybe she'll see this video, but this is a message for Senator Eileen Flynn and all the politicians of Ireland. There is no far right. There is only people who don't like what's happening. I hope that was very simple and clear for you guys to understand. Ordinary people who do not like what is happening. Full stop. Okay, guys, like and share this video, share the content of it, share the info with your family and friends, and set up an account on X. If not, I'm going to be here, as always, to bring you the latest news and views from X that you won't see on RTE. Thank you, guys. See you at the next one. It's getting very interesting. It's ramping up. I will be doing much more regular videos now because of the ramping up. And like I said, you are never short for news when you are on X. Okay, guys, take care. See you on the next one.